Bears have had a successful start to the season with a 3-game sweep of New Mexico State and a 14-4 win over Texas State on Tuesday. But the uphill climb begins today, and it is steep as they take on the number 7 Oregon State Beavers to open up the Round Rock Classic here at Dell Diamond. And you can catch all that action right here on the Baylor Lariat Radio. Hi, everyone, and I hope y'all are doing well. I'm Jeffrey Cohen here alongside me, Aidan O'Connor. And Aidan, great start to the season for the Bears. 4-0, series sweep against New Mexico State, and a big win against Texas State on Tuesday.
Yeah, series sweep versus New Mexico State, and, you know, records being broken. Tice Armstrong having a NCAA tying 3 grand slams in one game, a really impressive feat. And then Texas State also getting a really big win, 14-4, and having an impressive 5-run 6th inning. Had a little bit of a struggle in the 3rd inning, allowing 4 runs, but really continuing that run of dominance that for the past 2 years Mitch Thompson has had for this team, as last year they started 6-0, and now they're starting 4-0. And so really that Texas State game, keeping up the momentum from New Mexico State and having a lot of players just going off, like Bo Caraway having an impressive performance, having 3 hits and 2 RBIs, and having his first career start. And really his performance is emblematic of this young outfield for Baylor that's really been a standout.
Yeah, and mainly the guys starting in the outfield that are freshmen on the weekends. You got left fielder Hunter Snow, the redshirt freshman. Then you got true freshman Brady Janusek over in right field. And those guys have been really good to start, particularly Brady Janusek. And when you talk to the guys in this team, you talk to Mitch Thompson, you talk to any of the players, you mention Brady's name, and there's one thing that they say about him. They say he's the most athletic guy that they have ever seen. They say he's got plenty of power, plenty of speed, and we've seen it show off thus far. But we're going to see today. Both of them are in the lineup, and we're going to see if the Bears can start off the Round Rock Classic with a bang. But we will step aside just for a few moments for the national anthem. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Just a few moments away from first pitch here at Dell Diamond, the beginning of the Round Rock Classic here in Round Rock, Texas. And for the Bears this season, it's been marked by offense, and particularly they've been getting off to a hot start in their last 3 games.
Oh, they definitely have, Jeffrey. They have scored in the first inning of each of their last 3 games, having 5 versus New Mexico State in the second game, 3 in the third game, and then 2 versus Texas State. And they've just been doing really well on offense. You're hitting .331 as a team and winning the free pass battle 45-8. But all that success that they've had offensively is going to be put to the test today versus a pitcher in Dax Whitney for Oregon State that is one of the best pitchers out there in college baseball right now.
Yeah, and he's one of the hottest prospects. He's listed right now as the number 2 prospect in the 2027 MLB draft, and he is just electric. His fastball is probably one of the fastest Baylor will see all season, riding around 96 to 98, and he's got a killer slider with plenty of downward movement. He's tall, he's 6'6". He weighs 218 pounds from Blackfoot, Idaho, and he is just electric. 180 ERA thus far in 5 innings. That was on opening day against Michigan. He gave up 1 run and 5 hits, struck out 6 Michigan Wolverines that day, and he is just unbelievable. But as we get close to first pitch, I'll send it back to you, Aidan, for the starting lineup for the visiting Oregon State Beavers.
Starting off as the lead hitter for Oregon State, we have second baseman A.J. Singer, followed up at the second spot by Easton Talt. Then at the third spot, Nyan Hayes for center field. And at the fourth spot doing cleanup is Ethan Porter, who is DH tonight. And then we have number 5, Josh Proctor, the infielder. At number 6, the catcher, Jacob Galloway. Number 7, first baseman, Jacob Craig. 8, Paul Vasquez for third base. And 9, Tyler Inge for shortstop.
And then the defense for the Bears, it looks like this. J.J. Kennett will get the start behind the dish. At first, Tice Armstrong leading the team with 15 RBIs. Pearson Reebok will be at second. He pairs very nicely with Travis Sanders at short. Kay Dodson at the hot corner. And then in the outfield, left fielder, redshirt freshman Hunter Snow. He made a great home run robbery opening night against New Mexico State. A little bit overshadowed by Tice Armstrong. And then in center field, Ty Johnson in his 5th season of college baseball. And in right field is the electric freshman Brady Janusek. We haven't seen him make a whole lot of plays in the field thus far, and he hasn't had to make too many plays. But we've seen him plenty of times at the plate, and he has been electric. And we've already talked about him plenty. I mean, leading up to that New Mexico State series, Mitch Thompson, when asked about Brady Janusek, he said he was hitting balls over 110 miles an hour in batting practice. So this guy, he's got everything you want. He's got speed. He's got the athleticism. He can hit for average. He's hitting .308 right now, and he's got the power. We haven't quite seen the power in-game yet, but he's got all the tools.
Definitely, and today, I mean, he's done really well so far, but that test that we go back to is Dax Whitney for Oregon State. And like we've talked about with Janusek hitting over 300 and the entire team having a .331 average, they've done really well. But these teams, Texas State, New Mexico State, they haven't really put them to the test. And so today, I mean, there's no better test than Dax Whitney. And even in his first outing versus Michigan, having those 6 strikeouts in 5 innings and really keeping that game together, and then pitching staff later falling apart to lose to Michigan. But he'll be a real test for them today.
Yeah, and what we've seen from the last 2 games, at least with Oregon State, is that they've got that clutch gene. The offense has not been lighting up the scoreboard so far, but they've been playing against really good competition. And in the last 2 games, it's been the walk-off, right? You had Josh Proctor with a walk-off single to beat Stanford. That was on Sunday. And then right after that, the game after that, they got the revenge against Michigan with a walk-off. And so I think for Baylor, you see, they've got it. They can play all 9 innings, and you got to start off hot, right? You've got to get runs in that first inning. You got to rattle up Dax Whitney and not give Oregon State the opportunity to keep it close late because they win those games.
No, I agree exactly. Kind of really getting out to a hot start like they have in all of these games so far, because, like we said, all these games Oregon State has played, whether they've lost or they've won, have been close. Can you be that team that blows them out of the water today? Can you take that success from a Texas State, from a New Mexico State, and carry it into today? Because you know, with a pitcher like Dax Whitney, if the game's close and relief comes in and the offense isn't working well, you're not going to win that battle if you're Baylor having a tight game towards the 8th, the 7th inning. And so getting out in front early is very pivotal for them.
Yeah, and this is the third all-time meeting between these two programs. They met last year in Arlington. Baylor won that 4-3, or they lost that, 4-3. But the first time these two teams met, back in the 2005 College World Series, and Baylor won that 4-3 on a 10th inning walk-off. So not a whole lot of history between these two teams, but it's been close the two times they've played, and I think we're in store for a really good game tonight.
Definitely a lot of, as you talked about, a walk-off win in 2005, Oregon State coming off of 2 walk-offs and having a bunch of close games, and really a lot of storylines going into this as to who's going to prove themselves today. You know, like you said, Oregon State having some good opponents, but losing that first game to Michigan, not starting out the way they probably wanted to on opening day. And then Baylor really being like, we are here, having these great games, winning by multiple runs. But they're going to face each other today, and we'll see who comes out on top and who announces themselves this season that they are serious contenders.
And so on the mound for Baylor today, it's lefty Stefan Stahl coming in for the normal Friday night start, the one who has planned Lucas Davenport. Yesterday, Mitch Thompson said that he was experiencing some soreness, and so Stahl will get the nod. He pitched back on Sunday, relieved Cade Dotson, who went 4 innings, gave up 3 runs against the Aggies. And so Stefan Stahl, when relieving, went 2 1/3, gave up 3 hits, no runs, and walked only 1 batter. So now he's being thrust into this starter role against one of the highest-ranked teams that they'll play all season, against number 7 Oregon State. So now, Aidan, if you're Stefan Stahl and you're being thrust into this position at such an early part of the season, you weren't expecting it, what's kind of the mindset change?
I think if you're Stefan Stahl, you have to really hone in on, like he had in his innings versus New Mexico State. You can't be getting down if you're not getting strikeouts, getting down if you're having walks. If you get those outs to get out of the inning, take that with you. Take that confidence that there's no runs on the board. Hey, maybe I let up like 3 or 4 hits during the inning itself, but we got out of it. That's the type of confidence you need to have, because this Oregon State team will get hits on Stahl tonight. And so it's for him to keep that confidence up, rely on those young outfielders and veterans like Ty Johnson to really stop them from getting home, and just keeping this game as close as possible and letting the offense take advantage like they have the past couple games.
So we are getting ready for first pitch. A cool night here in Round Rock, Texas, 58 degrees. As nightfall has come upon us, the stadium lights are on here at Dell Diamond, and leading off is A.J. Singer. The righty takes the first pitch, high fastball, and it's upstairs for ball 1.
A.J. Singer trying to keep his 7-game hit streak alive that goes back to last year.
The 1-0, this one is hit high in the shallow right field. Janusek camps under it, makes the catch for out number 1.
And see, if that's what you want if you're Stahl, getting, even though it's contact, getting those outs early, getting this thing going, and making sure that you keeping your pitch count manageable and not getting to the point where you have a tired arm.
So now he'll face his first lefty of the night. That's right fielder Easton Talt, the senior, hitting .333 so far. Played 64 games for the Beavers last year. This pitch up and inside, backing him off. And Talt, one of 2 lefties in a righty-heavy lineup. Another fastball. This time gets that outside part of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch. Tall shows bunt, pulls it back, and that pitch just outside.
A bad decision there by Toll. Very curious decision to go in and try to go for the bunt.
Beavers trying to utilize some small ball early. This one hit high, and it'll twist foul down the left field line.
Now, if you're Stahl, this is where you have to close it out. You cannot be getting in these long, full count pitch counts with Oregon State players. You got to get them out early.
2-2 count, 1 out, nobody on. Easton Talt up to bat. This one fouls it off his hip, and he's limping a little bit.
Now, like I was saying, this is where you have to be careful. Already 2 foul balls in this pitch count right now. Need to make sure that it doesn't extend any further if you're Stahl.
Stahl threw 41 pitches on Sunday. That was in 2 1/3 innings against New Mexico State. Stahl gets set. And he deals. Slider low and outside, so the count will run full to Easton Talt.
Here we go, getting higher up in that pitch count, just like last time. 41 pitches in 2 innings.
Infield shaded to the right, going to the lefty's pull side. This one ripped into left center field. Back near the track, and Hunter Snow makes the catch. Talt put up a good fight in that bat, put some good contact on that ball, and just couldn't quite get it out of the range of Hunter Snow.
The great job by Stahl getting out of that pitch count, and then now you're going down in the averages. You had to face 2 really hard batters in Singer and Talt hitting 294 and 333 respectively. Now, until you have Jacob Galloway, if you're Stahl, this is where you want to be at with these players hitting 231, 111.
Check swing from Nyon Hayes. Home plate umpire Christopher Griffith said he went around, so 0-1 count, 2 outs, nobody on. This one, a high chopper, snagged on a hop by Cade Dodson, and he slings it over to first to retire the side. So a 1-2-3 inning for Stefan Stahl in his first start on the young season. And we'll get our first look at the Bears lineup when we come back. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
So Travis Sanders will lead things off for the Bears in the bottom of the first inning, facing one of the hottest prospects in college baseball right now, Dax Whitney, the 6'6" righty out of Blackfoot, Idaho. His first pitch, swing and a miss, and Sanders way behind, and that's a 99-mile-an-hour fastball right off the bat.
Yeah, that's definitely first pick worthy talent right there with that type of speed. Really reminds you of like a Paul Skeens with how he's able to throw the baseball.
And looking at his highlights, he loves that high fastball. Another one pumping 99 once again. Swing and a miss from Travis Sanders. So he's down in the count 0-2.
This is what Whitney does. Travis Sanders hitting .571 so far this season and already has him down 0-2 in the count.
He kicks and deals. This one popped up and fouled. So Sanders starting to find that timing, even though he has not seen any pitch near 99 miles an hour so far. So this is, obviously he's been in college baseball for a while now, but this is kind of a shock. He hasn't faced pitching like this since May. Swing and a miss. 90 miles an hour on the slider. Unbelievable.
And just as you were saying, it's these players for Baylor having to get used to this different type of speed that Whitney's bringing tonight. And there, you can see Sanders just clearly lost by what's going on. And for this Baylor team, you have to be careful not to get shell-shocked by that, because Whitney's used to having these type of strikeout games last year versus TCU, having a 12 strikeout game on 104 pitches. So if they can keep him in, they will, because he'll take you out with a strikeout.
So lefty Pearson Reebok steps in. He'll stare at strike one. And that slider, it's got down movement. That's because Whitney, his release is basically straight up. So that slider doesn't move horizontally. As this one is lifted in the shallow center field. And it's over the head of A.J. Singer, the second baseman. So Pearson Reebok aboard with a bloop single. And that'll bring up the biggest storyline for this team thus far, Tice Armstrong. Most people have heard about him. He's been viral throughout social media because of that 3 Grand Slam game. The second time it's ever happened in college baseball, going back to Jim LaFountain for Louisville in 1976. Armstrong, 15 RBIs. He takes a big hack, and he's under that 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
You can see there on all the first pitches of each of Baylor's players, they are swinging early. They are being very aggressive today.
The 0-1. Inside, turns that front shoulder from Armstrong, but it'll find the zone, so he's down in the count 0-2. Whitney getting 2 first pitch strikes against both righties. He deals. That one way inside, almost got Armstrong in the ribs.
That is not a fastball that you want to be hit by in the ribs with that type of speed.
Right there, that was a little slow for Whitney, 97 miles an hour. Just an unbelievable arm talent. He deals. There goes Reebok heading for second. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. The throw can't be corralled by Tyler Inge, backed up by Singer, so it'll be a stolen base for Pearson Reebok. And kind of like we mentioned in the pregame, speed and aggressiveness on the base paths, that's been the mantra for this team this entire season, particularly with the youth. And that's sophomore Pearson Reebok right there. And we saw that late in that game against Texas State on Tuesday, capitalizing in that 7th inning on 5 wild pitches. They scored 4 runs on those 5 wild pitches. That's a first pitch strike to John Ewens.
Yeah, Baylor really taking advantage of some of the mistakes this Oregon State outfield has made today, getting a stolen base there, and then earlier perfectly hitting that ball right behind the second baseman.
And this time goes with that looping curveball, 82 miles an hour, which also has vertical break. So for those listening, that slider and that curveball have the same kind of movement. The curveball, just a couple more inches of that vertical drop. So the 0-2 nails John Ewens. And Dax Whitney, he's been getting a couple pitches close to these Baylor hitters. This time it's the lefty DH Ewens. And that'll put runners on first and second with 2 outs.
That's kind of the downside of having speed like Whitney has, is sometimes it is hard to control, and Baylor really taking advantage right now. And as we talked about, Baylor has gotten off to really great starts these last 3 games. 5 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, and now with only 1 out and a man on first, 2 outs, a man on first and second, looking like they might be able to score another run in the first inning today.
Yeah, and Baylor coming into tonight has won that free pass battle 45-8. First pitch to Janusek, swing and a miss. Can't make contact with the fastball. So Whitney not shying away from the zone early. But Janusek, who has the power, now with a good chance to give Baylor some first inning runs. That fastball misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the first. This one lifted, and it'll go foul down the right field line.
As we talked about during pregame, when Janusek gets his bat on the ball, that velocity is something else. So just making contact for him tonight is really important, and just the velocity he can get makes it so hard for infielders and outfielders to field the ball.
Janusek hitting 308 so far this season as the home plate umpire Griffith calls time.
What was interesting earlier, we were talking about, the Mitch Thompson talking about speed on, getting stolen bases, getting all these things. And funnily enough, that was Pearson Reebok's 2nd stolen base ever in his career at Baylor.
And I think we'll be seeing a lot more. Swing and a miss. Way behind is Brady Janusek. And that'll be out number 3. So the Bears get some traffic, but can't cash in, and breaks the streak of 3 straight games scoring in the first inning. But they put up some good challenges for one of the best prospects in college baseball, Dax Whitney. But we are scoreless as we head to the second inning. This is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
the heart of the order due up for the Beavers. 4, 5, 6, Ethan Porter, Josh Proctor, and Jacob Galloway. First pitch to Porter, swings and misses on the 86-mile-an-hour pitch from Stahl. So sent the Beavers down 1-2-3 in the top half of this ball game. Misses upstairs with the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that's what Baylor wants, Jeffrey, is they know Stahl's not going to get strikeouts. They just want to get out of these innings quick to try to keep his arm warm.
Gets that pitch on the inner edge. 1-2 count, no outs, nobody on. Ethan Porter, the freshman out of Huntington Beach, California, making his first start of the season. Swings and misses, fishes for the breaking ball in the dirt. Throw over to first on the drop third strike in time for out number 1.
That throw a little bit off center to Tice Armstrong. Need to be careful on that, even though this defense has done really well all year, only having 2 errors so far.
Yeah, and I know all the talk about Tice Armstrong is his hitting, but he's been extremely impressive as a defensive first baseman so far. Couple of lunging grabs right there, had to dig it out of the dirt, and he's been solid. Big looping curveball, 71 miles an hour at the knees, called strike 1.
Very different speed than a Dax Whitney pitch on that one.
The lefty Stahl gets set. He pitches. Fastball. Doesn't get the call in this one, and so Stahl's fastball right now is ranging from 86 to 87. A 10-mile-an-hour difference between Oregon State's guy as he misses low and inside to Josh Proctor.
And that speed difference really shows how differently these pitchers are getting people out. You know, with Whitney, it's that speed getting strikeouts, and with Stahl, it's getting that weak contact from these Oregon State players.
That's called strike 2. So the count's tied up 2-2 with 1 out. Base is empty. Josh Proctor, only 1 hit on this season. He's 1 for 9, and that was a walk-off to beat Stanford. This one, a ground ball right to short. Tailor-made for Travis Sanders. His throw a little low, but Tice Armstrong, a brick wall at first. And there's 2 gone.
And as you talked about, Tice Armstrong doing really well defensively this year, especially on that play, lunging out to get a ball that was a little bit too short for him. And now for Stahl, really needing to be careful. And a really big improvement from his outing at New Mexico State, only having 20 pitches so far against that 41 that he had at New Mexico State, but still got 2 more outs to go to keep that pitch count down.
So it'll be Jacob Galloway. And he'll stare at strike 1. Galloway, the senior catcher, hitting .500 on the season. He's started all 4 games for the Beavers thus far. Includes 2 RBIs and 3 doubles as well. So that'll be something to look out for in this ball game. Stahl gets set. And here's the pitch. This one low and outside, stopped by J.J. Kennett. 1-1 count. Bears wearing their all-white uniforms, green caps, and then the Beavers wearing their road grays with the OSU across the chest, black hats and helmets. That breaking ball doesn't find the zone, misses inside. 2-1 count.
Galloway, just one of the players on this Oregon State team that's going to be difficult for these pitchers tonight, along with Singer and Talt.
Swing and a miss. Gets under the high fastball.
Now 1 more strike. Stahl really looking to get out of this inning now.
2-2 count, 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch to Galloway. Ground ball over to second. Reebok makes the routine throw over to first. And that'll end the inning Beavers go down in order once again as we are still scoreless halfway through the second inning. This is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you a freshman or senior? Freshman and senior portraits are now being scheduled. Watch your Baylor email for more information on how to reserve your sitting. Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
Whitney, a reigning third-team All-American by D1 Baseball. Had 120 strikeouts last season. That's 8th all-time in a single season at Oregon State, and that was just as a freshman. So the ceiling is sky high for Dax Whitney. He's had 3 strikeouts thus far as Hunter Snow takes a big swing and whiffs on the fastball.
And that was something last time in Baylor's last outing versus Whitney, just an inning ago, having that issue with getting his speed and getting that timed.
Misses low this time. Yeah, I think we're going to see that from everybody in this lineup, especially the first time around, right? We've mentioned these guys have not seen this kind of speed yet, especially some of these freshmen. Hunter Snow has not played before this year as he swings on top of the slider, 89 miles an hour. I mean, this guy, he's all we've been talking about so far, but he is an incredible talent and definitely one of the best ones we'll see all season. I don't know if there's many guys that can top this kind of talent on the mound. The 1-2 upstairs for ball 2.
And for Hunter Snow, already having a good start to this year, this is where you start to learn as a player, as a freshman, going up against somebody of Whitney's talent. This is where you learn how to play against that and then eventually grow to where you can be a prospect like he is.
Swing and a miss. And that is strike 3. So all 4 Bears have been sent down via the strikeout. And there's 1 gone here in the bottom of the second. And that'll bring up the 5th-year center fielder Ty Johnson.
And Whitney now almost matching his strikeout count from his first game versus Michigan, having 4 right now and having 6 during that game.
Johnson shows bunt, hits a hard one right to Whitney. He fields it cleanly, tosses it underhand over to first. And in time and beats Ty Johnson for a quick out number 2.
And that's something that we saw Oregon State try to do with these bunts early in the game with nobody on base, and it's just something that you don't really see work often.
Yeah, and I think with how hard he sent that ball, I think he was kind of aiming for the second baseman, A.J. Singer, trying to just let it go hard enough to get past Whitney, to where he can't field it, but not strong enough for Singer to make a play. And Whitney showing off his fielding prowess. That first pitch way too high at head level to J.J. Kennan, and it went right past the glove of Galloway.
And as we talked about, that's where the thing is for Whitney, managing this type of speed that he has, because we've either seen him strike people out with an insane amount of speed or it hits him where it's way outside.
Kennett, the right-handed batter. Check swing, he went around. That was on the slider low and away. So it's a 1-1 count, 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the second in a scoreless ball game here at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. First game of the weekend tournament for both these squads. Whitney kicks and deals. Finds the zone with that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. And he's ahead in the count, 1-2.
We were just talking about during the break the speed of this game so far from Stoll, getting people out on those weak contact hits, and now Whitney about to finish this inning as he did in the first one really quickly.
One, two, and J.J. Kennett, no match for Dax Whitney. That's K number 5 as the Bears go down 1-2-3 in the second inning. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Stephon Stahl making his 5th start as a Baylor Bear in his 2nd season in Waco. Made 4 starts last year as a junior in 15 total appearances. Had a .675 ERA with a 2-1 record. First batter he faces is Jacob Craig, who rips one into deep left field. Back to the wall, and it's off the wall. And it'll be a stand-up double for Jacob Craig. And it's the first base hit for the Oregon State Beavers on this Friday night matchup.
Now this is where Mitch Thompson has to be careful as the head coach, you know, the hitting and getting a double there for Oregon State. But like we talked about, Stahl only pitched 2 innings versus New Mexico State and then was taken out. So at what point, you know, he might get out of this inning, he might not. At what point is Mitch Thompson going to take him out of this game?
Jacob Craig has had his way with Baylor last year. Hit a home run and drove in another run on a single, going 2 for 3 against Baylor last year in Arlington. As this one is popped up right behind home plate, Kennett will run out of room as it hits into the stands. So Paul Vasquez, the third baseman, will be down in the count 0-1. Vasquez, only a second game played this season, went 1 for 4 on opening day against Michigan. Check swing on the low breaking ball. Appeal over to first base, and A.J. Wendell says no swing. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Righty Vasquez against the lefty Stahl. Swing and a miss. That's a 1-2 count for Stahl now, and back-to-back curveballs, basically sending Vasquez to a knee, and this time gets the swing.
Yeah, almost making him check swing on the pitch right before that, finally getting him there, and this is where Stahl needs to dig himself out and not have Vasquez get on base.
Swing and a miss. 3 straight curveballs in the dirt, and Stahl sends Vasquez back to the dugout. That's Stahl's second strikeout. First time he's had to pitch out of the stretch, as Craig is the first base runner for the Beavers. There's now 1 gone, runner on second. That's the 9-hole hitter Tyler Inge, the shortstop. Here's the first pitch to him. Another breaking ball, this time too far outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
So we've kind of seen in this inning from Stahl, a lot of these pitches starting to get lower for him.
This time misses outside once again, so Stahl behind in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Tyler Inge, the sophomore out of Brighton, Michigan. The transfer from the University of Michigan, so he's played against his former team, as this one was a solid 4 feet in front of home plate.
That's what I was talking about. A lot of these pitches for Stahl in this inning just really low, and I don't know if he's trying to catch them get low like he did on the last pitch count versus Vasquez, but as I said, as Mitch Thompson right now, you got to be thinking, when do you take him out?
He gets set. Look back to second. This time gets a fastball right over the heart of the plate, and it's 2-1. Tyler Inge has started all 3 games he's played in thus far. 2 for 8 as fastball misses low and inside, and that'll be ball 4. So first free pass allowed by Stahl, and that'll put runners on first and second with only 1 out.
And with the type of way Stahl pitches, getting that contact, this is a very dangerous situation, having a runner in scoring position with only 1 out.
So a lineup card will turn over for A.J. Singer as he steers at strike 1, fastball right down the middle. Here's a pitch. This one ripped into deep and straightaway left field, but Hunter Snow right on to make the catch. And that's a crucial out number 2 with traffic on.
And that's what you want if you're Stahl. Similar to that first inning, you having those hits going out into the outfield and letting your young guys, your stars, really get all these outs for you and not having to do, as we know that Stahl isn't a high strikeout pitcher.
Now Stahl so far has only had 2 strikeouts, but has induced 3 ground balls and now 3 fly balls as well, as he gets a first pitch strike against Easton Tolt, who flew out to left field back in the first inning. Shows bunt, lays it down the middle. Stahl snags it, underhand toss, in time. And Stefan Stahl giving up his first 2 base runners of the night, but strands them on first and second and keeps this ball game scoreless as we head to the bottom of the third. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Bottom of the third here at Dell Diamond. And Aiden, we were talking about it during the break, but both teams bunting, and we've seen them both bunt early in this ball game, and neither of them successful, both going right to the pitcher and just leading to a 1-3 ground out.
It just hasn't been successful for either team, and that one, the last bunt that Oregon State did, made a little bit more sense. The other ones, nobody on base, but really just hasn't worked for them tonight. As we see, Baylor tried to show a bunt there, but ultimately not committing.
That was Cade Dodson. Showed bunt, pulled it back. That was a smart decision as to that first pitch fastball missed up and away. So here's the 1-0 pitch from Whitney. Misses outside once again with the fastball, this time a little lower. That's 2 balls, no strikes. Dodson, the other transfer from UT Arlington, along with his teammate Tice Armstrong, hitting 167 so far. This fastball finds the zone. 2-1 count. Dodson has played all 4 games, has had 3 starts. 2 for 12 coming into tonight. This one a swing and a miss on that low and away slider.
And you talk about both Dodson and Armstrong coming from UT Arlington, really shows how good of a recruiter Mitch Thompson is, because UT Arlington is not the first school you think of when probably looking for transfers for a team like Baylor.
So a 2-2 pitch in the dirt, no swing, count runs full. Yeah, Mitch Thompson at least had some familiarity with these two guys, as Baylor played UT Arlington twice. And as Lucas Davenport said after Friday's game, that Tice Armstrong had torched him while at UTA. This one, a swing and a miss. Couldn't find contact against the heater. And there's one gone here in the bottom of the third.
And needless to say, he's been on a heater for Baylor this year with those grand slams. And, today, 0 for 1, but Baylor really looking for him to continue that type of really record-setting streak versus a team that of the caliber of Oregon State.
Yeah, and Tice Armstrong went 3 for 6 on Tuesday against Texas State, and I got to talk to him after it, and he said, I'm just happy that I know I can hit a single, as Travis Sanders swings on the high fastball, doesn't make contact. And I think that was a good thing for Tice Armstrong to have a really good game at the plate on Tuesday and not hit a home run. Get a couple singles. because now it really starts to reset expectations. As that one's a strike, and home plate umpire Christopher Griffith clapped his hands and then called strike. I don't know what that was about. Maybe it's just some flair or something, but
just really wanted people to know that it was a strike.
Yeah. Definitely got Travis Sanders' attention. Swing and a miss.
Man, that must be demoralizing, just having an extra clap back there, knowing that it was a strike on that pitch for you if you're Travis Sanders.
The Sanders sent down on strikes both times up. So now it'll be Pearson Reebok, the only one who's really gotten the best of Dax Whitney thus far. John Ewan's got hit. So really it's been Pearson Reebok, the only one who's kind of won this battle between the Beavers' ace. You won't swing in that first pitch. It's just below the knees for ball one.
Yeah, I mean, Reebok really been the only positive offensively for Baylor today, getting that stolen base earlier, the second of his career, and getting that hit.
2 outs, nobody on. This one ripped into right field, and it's down for another base hit. And Pearson Reebok off to a hot start, 2 for 2 with a pair of singles, and keeps the third inning rolling.
And that's what Baylor needs, is people like Reebok opening this game up, and so that there's confidence building within the team that Whitney's just a man. He's not this ethereal first overall pick that you can't get anything off of, but somebody that you can start to mount up some pressure on.
Yeah, Reebok being able to turn on that center cut fastball. Tice Armstrong out ahead of the slider right there. It's 0-1. Yeah, and with a lot of these strikeouts, the Bears aren't even making contact at any point. There's not a whole lot of foul balls going on. It's just whiff after whiff. This one a ground ball down the third base line, but it'll go foul.
Like you said, really trying to get into a rhythm here with Whitney. And, you know, even though it's the third inning, that speed is still something to get used to for them. And so a lot of these pitch counts, you've seen a difference in maybe swinging early to trying to wait and see how he's going to play.
There's a throwback over to first, not in time. Reebok almost didn't get back and slide in time, but gets the safe call. He's already, as you mentioned, already got the stolen base in the first inning. His second career stolen base for the sophomore second baseman. Another throwback over to first. This time it gets by the first baseman, Craig. And here goes Pearson Reebok over to second base.
Now Reebok in scoring position. I think you're starting to see Reebok get in Whitney's head a little bit, being able to steal 2 bases so far and being able to get the only hit. And so I think this will be very important to take his mind off of the at-bat with Armstrong and really distract him with, is he going to steal the base or not?
0-2 count, 2 outs, and now Reebok in scoring position at second base. Here's the pitch from Whitney. Fouled back, and Armstrong finally getting a piece of that ball.
And as you can see in this count, 2 foul balls so far, if I'm correct, and really starting to get more contact on Whitney.
Yeah, and right there, it just seemed like a pure survival swing, right? You saw a ball that was in the zone or close to the zone, and you just got to try to get any contact, as this one is lifted down the first base line. Backing up is Craig. He'll make the catch in foul territory for out number 3. So Pearson Reebok, the lone bear to get on base. He gets his second single of the ball game, but it's still a scoreless game here in Round Rock. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch your latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
Stefan Stahl back out on the mound for the Bears. He's gone 3 innings, giving up no runs on 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. As Nyan Hayes will be the 12th batter he's faced. Hayes grounded out to third back in the first inning. And he'll stare at strike 1.
As we were talking about that last outing by Baylor's offense, not getting any runs, but a really positive for this team to try to get that confidence up and relieve some of that pressure off of Stahl.
Hayes hit a slow dribbler foul right back to his teammate Ethan Porter, who's on deck. Hayes, the transfer from Grambling State. This pitch way up and outside. Kennett had to stand to make sure he caught that ball. Hayes hit .277 with 10 doubles and 10 home runs, as this one's a high chopper. Charging is Sanders. He makes the running throw in time to beat the speedy Hayes.
That was a great throw there by Sanders, being able to get him out and get a good start to this inning so far. And still, as we've seen, and will continue to be a storyline as he's up there, these outs coming from weak contact from Oregon State, not from strikeouts primarily.
So he's exceeded his pitch count from Sunday as the first pitch. Kind of a questionable call by the home plate umpire. We couldn't really tell if that was a strike. This time we know. That one's in at the knees.
Interesting. This time he didn't do the clap to emphasize the strike.
So it's now 0-2 with 1 out, nobody on. High fastball, can't find the zone. Yeah, if you're Mitch Thompson, this game has gone exactly how you want for Stefan Stahl. Right, we've talked about how he's not a strikeout guy. With a guy that has limited speed like he does, as this one swung on and missed, drop third strike, as Kennett's throw over to first will beat Porter. And as I say that Stefan Stahl's not a strikeout guy, gets his 3rd K of the night, but with a guy with limited speed like him who loves to use that off speed, you want to see a lot of weak contact, like we've said, a lot of ground balls. And that's exactly what we've seen today, right? This is almost the picture-perfect game outside of that Jacob Craig double that led off last inning. As Proctor stares at that 73-mile-an-hour curveball.
Yeah, that double was tough for Stahl, but being able to mentally come back really shows his strength as a pitcher.
This one, another chopper, backhanded. Oh, just past the glove of Travis Sanders. He was trying to backhand it and couldn't quite get a good read on that ball. As we'll see what the scoring is on that. Looks expected to be an error. That was a pretty manageable chopper to Sanders. So Proctor aboard with 2 outs.
Very rare for this Baylor defense so far this year, only being their 3rd error so far.
Sanders, preseason All Big 12 infielder. As the first pitch to Galloway misses outside. Lefty on lefty. Out of the stretch. Finds the zone this time. 1-1 count, 2 outs. A slight breeze blowing in from center field, directing to home plate. This one lifted into shallow center field. Racing on is Ty Johnson. He calls off his 2 teammates, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So the Beavers get their 3rd base runner of the night, and they can't cash in as we are halfway through 4 here in Round Rock. Bears nothing, Beavers nothing. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
John Ewens will lead things off for the Bears. Got hit by a pitch in the first inning and then got stranded at first base. The only Bear not named Pearson Reebok at his reach base so far, as he'll stare at strike 1.
As we talked about, interesting change in strategy for the Bears. Initially swinging at a lot of those first pitches, but now waiting on them.
They fouls one straight back to the netting. And John Ewens has been a good power guy to pair with Tice Armstrong. Didn't play at all 2 years ago. Played very limited time last season, particularly was a pinch hitter or defensive sub at first base. That one misses upstairs. But now really stepping into that consistent designated hitter role for Mitch Thompson. He's down in the count 1-2. Here's a pitch from Whitney. Breaking ball, freezes him up, called third strike.
And this is where you have to create some pressure if you're Baylor outside of Reebok for Whitney, because it almost seems like outside of Reebok, it's just easy going through the lineup for him. And so having somebody that can challenge him at that back end or middle of the lineup is just really important to try to keep him on his toes to where he's just not breezing through these innings.
That's strikeout number 8 for Whitney. First one looking. So he misses inside to Janusek, who struck out swinging to end the first inning.
Now going past his total strikeouts from that Michigan game, having now 8, topping that 6 strikeout outing in the season opener.
Janusek shows bunt, and he pulled it back just in time. I don't know. I think he had it out the entire time. They appealed over to first, and the first base umpire said no swing. So it's 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, bases empty. Fastball misses upstairs. And here's the 2-0. Misses high, and that'll be ball 4. Like there's some miscommunication on the balls and strikes here at Dell Diamond. But Janusek will get aboard with a 1-out walk. Second free pass allowed by Whitney. And that'll bring up Hunter Snow, who was the 4th strikeout victim. That led off the second inning. Pitch misses away. Sliding stop by Galloway. I think Baylor really needs to capitalize on the base runners they do have. I think you're going to see more stolen bases. Now, the only issue is that that ball is getting to the catcher so quickly, as the throw over to first, not in time.
Yeah, there just needs to be some aggressiveness in this back half of the lineup for Baylor to really, like I said earlier, put that pressure on Whitney.
And a back pick over to first, not in time, as Janusek taking a big secondary lead on that pitch.
That looked like one that Janusek might have been able to take to second and get that stolen base, but a little hesitant there. Lucky he was able to get back to first base.
It was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Whitney. He'll go forward. Right down the heart of the plate. 97. That's a strike.
This Hunter Snow not being able to read that pitch, kind of backed up like he was going to hit him, but right in the middle of the strike zone.
2-1, 1 out. Janusek at first, another throw over to first. Really close play, but no dice for the Beavers, as their crowd not quite happy with that call from the first base umpire. A.J. Wendell. Kicks and deals. There goes Janusek. Swing and a miss from Snow. The throw just a little too high from second. And Brady Janusek getting the stolen base. That's his 3rd on the season.
And that was something we saw earlier, too, with Galloway. Some of those throws to second, I mean, this is what Baylor can really pick on. None of them have been on target today.
So 2 stolen bases so far. Now runner in scoring position as Hunter Snow swings and misses for strike 3, and that'll be a big out number 2 for the Beavers.
And that's something for Baylor that's really been an issue, is when they get somebody in scoring position in this game, as few times it has been, it's already 2 outs, and their backs are up against the wall in terms of scoring. And so there needs to be getting people on base earlier in these innings before you get to the point where you're 1 out away.
Ty Johnson can't connect on the first pitch fastball. Johnson hit a relatively hard bunt right back to Whitney in the second inning, but was promptly retired for out number 2. As he swings and whiffs on the exact same pitch.
And seems non-committal on those 2 pitches. While he's doing his full swing, there's not a lot of speed behind it.
So he's missed low on 2 fastballs high and tight. He's down 0-2, 2 outs with Janusek on second. This fastball way too high. That'll be ball one. We really started to see Whitney, when he gets to the upper 90s, the upper echelon of his fastball speeds, he hasn't been able to control it quite as well. So here's the 1-2 pitch. Misses with the slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And outside of a flawless night so far, you're right, Jeffrey, that kind of lack of control on some of these pitches leading to a hit by pitch or leading to those 2 walks that we've seen so far has really been the only downside to this game for him.
Swing and a miss. 10 strikeouts in 4 innings for Dax Whitney. Have yourself a night. As nobody has really threatened to score yet. We're still deadlocked at 0 as we head to the 5th inning. This is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
We are at the top of the 5th inning here at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas, and a new pitcher coming in for the Bears. It's a redshirt freshman, Braden Bergman, standing at 6'1", 214, out of Parker, Texas, in the Dallas area, making his first appearance on the season. And he gets a swing and a miss on a high fastball from Jacob Craig. Last season, Bergman made 1 relief appearance after missing some time due to injury. That was on March 9th against Loyola Marymount. As he misses up and away, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. And against Loyola Marymount, struck out 2 in a scoreless inning. So now making his 2nd appearance in college. Righty against righty. This is upstairs with a fastball once again. Having to knock off some of that rust. Had a good first pitch, but the last 2 he's missed way too high.
I mean, talk about last year to this year, only having 1 game played last year versus a lower school, and now your 2nd ever game played in college is versus the 7th ranked team in the country. And so even though right now the coaching staff is having to talk to him even in his first couple pitches, this really shows a lot of faith from Mitch Thompson in those young guys, redshirt freshmen, true freshmen, that, you know, that's the only way they're going to learn is being thrown in the fire. And today we've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, and we've seen it all throughout the season. They brought in, I think it was 7 pitchers on Tuesday night against Texas State as Sean Snedeker returns to the Baylor dugout. This one foul tip off of Kennett. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sean Snedeker in his second season as the Bears pitching coach. Really turned this pitching staff around last season. They had struggled a lot in 2024, and then last year had his staff rankings at the top 30 nationally in 4 different categories. That fastball misses outside.
Talk about a first, count for Bergman, having a full count right now in a game. No runs, no outs.
This one swing and a miss. Sends down Jacob Craig, who's now 1 for 2 after getting a double in the 3rd inning.
And that's really good experience for him, getting out of that full count and having some confidence going into the rest of this lineup.
Yeah, and he's against the guy who had the best at bat against Stephon Stahl. Had a really nice double back in the 3rd. So I'll bring up Paul Vasquez. That pitch misses outside. And so far, we've only seen fastballs from Bergman, just trying to find that grip. He's missed in a couple different areas, but he's also made a couple really good pitches. I think once he starts to get comfortable with his heater, then we'll start to see, maybe we'll see a slider or a changeup, whatever else he's got in his back pocket. The 1-0. Fastball doesn't get a swing, but it's a called strike 1.
The way he's pitching so far, getting these strikes and getting that strikeout, really shifting how Baylor could get these outs while he's on the mound.
Here's a pitch from Bergman. Can't find the zone on that one. On a couple of those fastballs they've thrown outside, he's kind of crossing up J.J. Kennett a little bit. And having to lunge the last second. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gets it right over the heart of the plate, and the count's tied up at 2.
As we talked about before, Stahl really getting all those outs off of weak contact from Oregon State. And now it looks like Bergman could finish off Vasquez.
Hard ground ball, and it finds its way into left field. Vasquez rounding first hard, but he'll have himself a 1-out single.
Or he gets a single. And now this is going to be the test for Bergman. You have, the comfort of having 1 out. It's not no outs. But in a game that's been very low in terms of people getting on base, allowing a base runner on your second at bat, that's got to be something that he has to be thinking about right now and maintaining his composure in only his 2nd game he's ever played in college.
So now it's Tyler Inge, who reached base via the walk in the 3rd inning. So Braden Bergman, brother of senior Baylor outfielder Caleb Bergman. His first pitch too high, ball 1. Going out of the stretch. Gets a called strike right there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and a runner on first. Craig has not been too much of a base running threat early on. No attempts so far. Showing bunt as Inge pulls back, and it's ball 2. And right there, we finally got the Braden Bergman off-speed pitch at 74 miles an hour. Just couldn't quite find the zone there.
He's trying to get some more confidence to try to mix it up here in this inning.
This one, a hard line drive, and it finds its way into right field. Back-to-back singles for the Beavers, and this is the most action they've had all game.
And now, as we talked about earlier with Baylor, every time they would get a hit and get on base, they would have 2 outs. And now Oregon State in a really different position here, having 2 players on base, a first and second, one at scoring position, and only having 1 out. So that gives them a lot of leeway to try to experiment here with how to get a run in, because right now the pressure, nobody's scoring, so you can really experiment during this inning.
And that'll bring up the number 1 hole hitter, A.J. Singer. This pitch way outside, and a great stop by J.J. Kennett, having to lunge to his right, trying to keep that ball from the backstop. That would have been trouble for the Bears. There's runners on second and first, only 1 out. Pitch inside, just misses Singer's ribs.
Now the Oregon State crowd starting to get involved and making a lot of noise, which must be tough for the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, you can really feel that pressure mounting on him. His pitch gets the call at the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike. Singer came into tonight with a .294 average, 4 runs, hasn't driven in one of his teammates yet. Great opportunity to do it. Lifts this one straight up. J.J. Kennett racing and makes the catch in foul territory. And that is a crucial second out for Braden Bergman.
Definitely, and very lucky there, Kennett making a great defensive play with a foul ball that almost went behind the fence, and just good job of getting now 2 outs for Baylor. And you know, Bergman, as we were talking about, didn't have a lot of playing time last year, nor in high school.
And so Mitch Thompson will make the walkout to the mound and will make the call to the bullpen. So that'll do it for Braden Bergman's night. The 2 runners on will be his responsibility. And so we'll step aside for a few moments, and we'll come back with our new pitcher. This is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
So with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning, new pitcher in for the Bears, Zach Wallace.
Zach Wallace pitched in 3 innings so far this year, 1 versus New Mexico State and 2 versus Texas State, only allowing 2 hits so far and no earned runs.
As he ends Braden Bergman's day, gets a called strike to Easton Talt.
And Braden Bergman really doing a good job for the amount of experience he's had, only 1 game last year, and then high school having his career cut short due to injury. And so really this is the biggest action he's seen in the last 3 years.
And gets another call for strike 2. He's ahead in the count, 0-2. 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball right there. So he inherits runners on first and second. Both will go to Braden Bergman. Foul tip caught by J.J. Kennett, and Zach Wallace he had one job to do, get 1 out, and he does it, and he strands runners on first and second and keeps this ball game scoreless. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, you're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Dax Whitney out for a 5th inning of work. He hasn't had too much trouble thus far. He's got 10 Ks so far. Only 2 off from tying his career high as he skips in that first pitch to J.J. Kennett for ball 1.
And while the bunt hasn't worked today for either team, it is interesting when they do show bunt and they don't commit, especially for Baylor. They really throw Whitney off, and you've seen a lot of balls on those type of plays. So I think for them, really trying to not commit to the bunt but show so that Whitney throws outside like he did on that pitch.
Infield shaded to the left, and a big hack from J.J. Kennett. Can't elevate on the high fastball. Kennett 0 for 1 today, struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Up and inside, a little chin music from Whitney, who's lost a little bit of his command as we've progressed through this ball game. Didn't really seem to miss the zone at all through the first 2 frames, but here in the last 2.5 innings, hasn't quite had the same control. As foul tip caught by Galloway. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, nobody on.
I mean, Whitney is no stranger to pitching, a large amount. Last year, TCU pitched 104 times, and today are hovering around that 65 mark and can really stay in this game as long as he needs to.
J.J. Kennett can't connect with the high fastball, and he goes down on strikes for the second time tonight. And you can add that to Whitney's K counter. That's number 11 on the night.
2 away now from having a new career high. Last year, that same TCU game I referred to that had the 104 pitches had 12 strikeouts, and so close to setting a career high in this game today.
Currently at 65 pitches. First pitch misses outside to K. Dodson, who, like his teammate J.J. Kennett, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. But the Bears have been swinging at almost all these pitches as Dodson can't connect on the bunt attempt. It was a 1-1 count.
It looks like Whitney's learning there, not falling for that bunt attempt and getting the strike.
Going out of the windup. Doesn't get a swing on that fastball. 1-2 count, 1 out. Bases are clear. Both middle infielders with their feet right on the outfield grass on the edge of the infield dirt. Swing and a miss, and not a very competitive pitch from K. Dodson. That's strikeout number 12 for Dax Whitney.
Just one more to go, and he'll set his career high. And really, right now, as we were talking about, in the 60s with his pitch count, and he looks a little bit more tired, as you discussed at the beginning of this inning. But still, he looks like he could go for 2 more innings and show no signs of stopping.
Yeah, and Baylor has still not caught up to that fastball, especially that elevated fastball. They're swinging under it every single time.
But that's the thing on those first pitches, as we've discussed, that change in Baylor to try to be more conservative on those first pitches. But now in a game that's scoreless like this, you have to continue to be aggressive.
First pitch fastball low and inside. Another called strike, exact same spot. And it's been a tough night for Travis Sanders, who came in 8 for 14. And he's at risk of striking out a third time. Here's the pitch from Whitney. Can't find the zone. A little too high, and that's ball 1.
And Baylor just needs to remember what got them to this undefeated record, that aggressiveness, continuing to be aggressive at these at-bats, and just gotten a lot more conservative.
Swing and a miss. Career high for Dax Whitney, 13 strikeouts, and he's only pitched 5 innings so far in a 0-0 ball game. As we head to the 6th inning, this is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you a freshman or senior? Freshman and senior portraits are now being scheduled. Watch your Baylor email for more information on how to reserve your sitting.
Back on the mound for the Bears, Zach Wallace. Finished the job in the top half of the 5th. Stranding bases on first and second, but this one is Nyan Hayes turns on a first pitch fastball, and he'll get a single into left field.
That's where we've seen a lot of Oregon State's success today. Those grounders to the left side of the field, just getting past Dodson and second base.
So in the first 4 innings, Baylor had only given up 1 base hit. That was the double to Jacob Craig, but now in the last 6 batters, it's 3 singles. His first pitch misses away to Ethan Porter. Wallace, the transfer from Rowan Gloucester, won a Division III Junior College National Championship in 2025, as this one is fouled to the sweet section. Just a few feet to our left. I guess it's Bryce Hubbard who's in for Ethan Porter.
And Hubbard had a big game in their last outing versus Michigan, hitting his first ever career home run as a walk-off.
This one, a ground ball, gets into right field. Heading for third is Hayes, and the throw will be cut off by Travis Sanders. Second straight inning with back-to-back singles for Oregon State, and they've got runners on the corners with no outs.
This is where that confidence is building for Oregon State, getting these consecutive hits, having no outs, and now we could really start to see those bunts from earlier that they were really trying to get to work start to be put back in play here that might have some success.
So Bryce Hubbard coming into today has had a hit in 3 of the 4 games he's played, had a solo home run against Michigan. That was the walk-off to beat the Wolverines. That pitch to Josh Proctor misses low. Proctor, who had the first of the 2 walk-offs. That was against Stanford. Out of the stretch for Wallace. Swing and a miss. Proctor way out ahead of the 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
And Proctor with that single, like you said, to walk off the game versus Stanford, trying to get the first run here for Oregon State and really open this game up for them.
And time is called by Griffith, the home plate umpire. We're back once again. Wallace, here's the pitch. Gets the called strike, 90 miles an hour, down the middle. It's going to take all Wallace has to keep this game scoreless. It's the first run, stands only 90 feet away. Misses outside with that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs.
And Proctor really showing a lot of patience for a freshman right now. Having a full count, not being too aggressive, knowing that he has somebody in scoring position at third.
Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3 sends Proctor down, and that's out number 1. 5th strikeout for Baylor pitching tonight. Second one for Wallace. Now it's Jacob Galloway, who's been one of the Beavers' best hitters on the early season, now with the chance to break this game open. Big RBI chance. He's driven in 2 runs so far this season. Shows bunt, pulls back, but it's a called strike.
And Wallace facing a lot more than he has the rest of this year, even those 3 innings he pitched versus New Mexico State and Texas State, only 2 hits in those, and today already doubling that with 4.
This one is ripped down the right field line, but it'll go foul. Galloway got every last stitch of that baseball.
Excuse me, 2 hits today and 4 on the season for Wallace.
Wallace deals. This one fouled straight back. And you can see Galloway, he's on it with his swing. After that last foul ball, that if it was just a couple of degrees to the left, that would have been gone. You can tell that he's confident with his swings. The pitch, 3rd straight foul ball. This one to the backstop. Still no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners remaining on the corners.
Really mounting up the pressure here on Wallace, getting antsy in terms of having 2 strikes so close to getting him out and getting those coveted 2 outs. But Galloway staying in this pitch count.
The 0-2 pitch. And he just gets a piece of it. It went right between the legs of J.J. Kennett, but Galloway got it off the end of his bat. So the runner's not able to advance, and it's still 0-2, so 4 straight foul balls.
Galloway doing a great job of extending this at-bat.
Wallace still has a couple pitches to work with, ahead in the count 0-2. And he deals. This one popped up, and it'll go foul. Right over our heads. Galloway not giving Wallace an inch. 5 consecutive foul balls. Here's pitch number 8. Fouls it off again. Goes to the backstop.
There has to be a point for Wallace, too, where you're getting up in the pitch count, and as Mitch Thompson, that arm's getting tired, you're getting antsy. Having to be out there that long with that much stress in this at-bat is really going to have to be considered. And now Kennett is going to talk to him.
Yeah, I think this is a good time. Just, yeah, as you said, he's thrown a lot of pitches so far. It's been 8 pitch at bat, and it's still an 0-2 count. So I think he's going to talk to his pitcher. You continue to attack the zone like he has this entire at bat, or do you finally kind of get one in the dirt, maybe get one away, and try to get a swing and a miss? Because right now Galloway's in swing mode. The 0-2. This one lifted high into foul territory, and K. Dodson will run out of room, so make that 7 straight foul balls from Jacob Galloway, and probably the most tightly contested 0-2 count that we have ever seen.
Definitely. And Wallace, I mean, at this point, having no balls in this at bat, really, you can start to experiment, and because now clearly has not been working these last couple pitches.
This one hit deep into straightaway center field, and it's caught by Johnson, and here comes Hayes, and he will score. A sac fly from Jacob Galloway gives Oregon State the first run of this ball game, and they lead 1-0 here in the top of the 6th.
And if you're Wallace, ultimately that isn't what you want, letting up that run. But in a situation having 1 out, a runner on 1st and 3rd, just getting the out there and getting out of that extremely long at bat is in a positive in and of itself.
So Galloway, in the end, gets the job done, fouls off 7 straight pitches, but gives his team the lead with a sac fly. That'll bring up Craig. And that's a called strike 1 at the knees. Slow breaking ball. So So Hubbard stays on first base with 2 outs. The 0-1. Swing and a miss as that pitch just drops down. And Craig swinging over the top of it. That was a great breaking ball.
Definitely, and now we're back to that 0-2 count for Wallace, and see this time whether Craig can stay alive or Wallace can end this at bat earlier.
The pitch from Wallace skips it in the dirt, blocked by Kennett. That's kind of the pitch we were expecting at some point against Jacob Galloway. Just get one out of the zone, maybe make him chase it. If he doesn't chase it, then oh well, you're still heading the count 1-2.
Yeah, didn't really try to do that, just kept having it inside the zone and, you know, finally experimenting a little bit here in this at-bat, but ultimately goes too low.
Swing and a miss. Gets him on the low breaking ball, and that'll retire the side. Zach Wallace only giving up 1 run, had runners on the corners with no outs. I think if you're the Bears, you got to be decently happy about that, as it's now a 1-0 ball game halfway through 6. And this is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
So Pearson Reebok will lead things off for the Bears, who are now trailing 1-0. He's gotten the best of Dax Whitney 2 times so far with a pair of singles. First pitch, fastball called a strike at the knees.
Reebok just been doing everything today for this Baylor team on offense, having really their only 2 hits so far, going 2 for 2, and 2 stolen bases as well. I mean, he's been a one-man show, and right now, if you're Baylor, you allowed your first run of the game. This is the guy that you want to see in the next inning, and right now trying to make something happen.
So now it's an 0-2 count. Last pitch called a strike. This one misses away. 1-2 count, no outs. Whitney currently at 13 strikeouts on the night through 5 innings. Has given up 2 hits, no runs, and only 1 walk. He's also hit a batter. Whitney kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Finally has an answer for Pearson Reebok. And that's strikeout number 14 on this Friday night matchup between number 7 Oregon State and the Baylor Bears. And get this, now the last 6 Baylor batters have all gone down on strikes. That's 6 strikeouts in a row for Dax Whitney.
I mean, we could be seeing history tonight. We're certainly seeing a career high for him, and he's inching towards that Oregon State milestone with the most strikeouts ever by an Oregon pitcher, being 17, and right now at 14, he's getting closer and closer.
So Tice Armstrong fouled back the first pitch. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Strikeout and a pop-up to first base. And this fastball upstairs for a ball. This one, a hard line drive right to the Baylor dugout. It looks like everybody's all right.
It'll be interesting to see for Whitney, now at the bottom of the sixth, only pitching 5 innings versus Michigan, and, really seeing the team kind of topple after that in terms of pitching. How long does he stay out there?
That's a swing and a miss from Tice Armstrong. K, number 15. And he is 2 away from tying program history.
And like you said, Jeffrey, close to tying program history, been on a heater all day, but he is getting high in that pitch count, 81. And so the choice is, hasn't allowed any runs, about to reach history. We'll see how long he stays out there for.
Yeah, I think this is too big of an occasion to pull the plug early. I mean, he just keeps on getting better. That's 7 straight strikeouts for Whitney as he misses inside on the first pitch to John Ewens, who he hit in the first inning and then struck out looking in the fourth. That was Baylor's only strikeout looking. The other 14 all swinging. That fastball in at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ewens.
And you can just see the confidence coming off of Whitney. And the only time he was ever really in distress was that run that Reebok had. But ever since then, hasn't broken a sweat.
Another swing and a miss. We've been saying that all day. Not a whole lot of contact from Baylor. The 1-2 pitch freezes him on the curveball. And make that strikeout number 16 on the night. And strikeout number 8 in a row. And we are heading to stretch time here at Dell Diamond. And you're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all of the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Hey Bears! Are you a freshman or senior? Freshman and senior portraits are now being scheduled. Watch your Baylor email for more information on how to reserve your sitting.
So while we've been mesmerized by Dax Whitney and his historic performance on the mound, the Beavers starting to put some more pressure on offenses. Zach Wallace back out again. First pitch called a strike to Paul Vasquez, who's 1 for 2, had a single in the 5th, struck out swinging in the 3rd. That slider misses away.
And Zach Wallace really closed out the 5th in a situation that seemed impossible and had a lot of confidence going into the 6th inning, and then just really got rattled there with runners on 1st and 3rd and ultimately had to give up the run.
Gets another called strike right there. So he's ahead in the count 1-2. Yeah, and I think if you're the Bears, you got to be decently happy, right? It could have been much worse with how they were swinging last inning. Could have been a lot more. As gets him fishing on a breaking ball in the dirt. And that's 1 away. You're in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And like you said, that was really the best situation there for them, and that at bat that went forever with all those foul balls, you know, really you're worrying as Baylor for a home run in that scenario, and just to get 1 run in and get that out to get it to 2 outs was a positive.
Misses low and away to Tyler Inge, who's reached twice, a single in the 5th, a walk in the 3rd. Wallace, 4 strikeouts of his own in 1 2/3 innings. Gets a call right there. So he's tied the count 1-1. 1 out, nobody on base. Wallace deals. And a weak swing, but a foul tip, and it looks like it caught J.J. Kennett right in the thighs. He tries to shake it off. And J.J. Kennett, he's been extremely good on defense behind the dish this season. And I can say he's one of the most electric, one of the most animated guys on this team. I was seeing on Sunday as well, like he is just so energetic as a foul tip gets by Kennett. I think that's really what Baylor needs. He's one of the older guys on this team. He's a junior. And his energy, at least on Sunday, that was just so, like, noticeable. It was infectious. Is that one a swing and a miss? And there's 2 away.
And the real strength of his, too, is being able to channel that energy and really being able to focus as well during these games and just use those fast twitch muscles. Like earlier we saw, as soon as that ball popped up in the air, he took his helmet off immediately, knew right where it was, and some of that experience, being able to just instantly know where the ball is going to be and being able to make the play.
And he's called a great game behind the plate. That one a called strike. Baylor pitching has given up only 1 run on 6 hits against the number 7 team in the nation. Right, and I think part of that is J.J. Kennett, the pitch caller, as he snags one from the dirt. And that's a pitch right there that most catchers have to go on their knees and block it, but he's almost like a first baseman right there. He just puts the glove out, and it just seems to go right in the webbing every time. It's the 1-1, hit high and deep down the left field line, and it goes foul. A big swing from A.J. Singer, who's 0 for 3 on the night, but just a little too far out in front of it. And no swing from Singer on that low and away pitch. He wanted to, but he was able to hold it back. Taking a lot of strength on that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Wallace. This one lifted in the shallow center field. Ty Johnson racing forward. He'll make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Zach Wallace. And he keeps this game at 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Bears down 1-0. This is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor.
We are now at the bottom of the 7th inning in a 1-0 ball game. And for the Beavers, their starter Dax Whitney, 1 strikeout away from tying history, 2 away from setting the single game program record for strikeouts. Brady Janusek fouls one off of Jacob Galloway. And it just seems like Whitney continues to get better and better as this game goes on. Has retired the last 8 batters, all by strikeout. That's really helped him get to the number 16. Gets a call at the knees there, and he's ahead in the count 0-2.
I mean, you look at his pitch count, it's up into the 80s, and you would think he's starting to get tired. But like you said, that momentum from having so many consecutive strikeouts is really leading him into this inning to where he looks like he hasn't slowed down one bit as another strikeout is called there.
And a called third strike, and that's strikeout number 17, ties the Oregon State single game strikeout record with 17. And that's the 9th straight batter he has sent down on the strikeout. He is 1 away from history.
It seems like he's going record after record, his own personal record to begin with. Now Oregon State, and if he gets another strikeout here, he might be going for the NCAA record.
Hunter Snow pulls back on the bunt as that ball skips in the dirt, and it's 1-0. Hunter Snow has struck out swinging both times up. Trying not to be that guy, the one who ends up on the wrong side of such a major moment. As he hits one deep, hits one far, and it is snagged. It's robbed. Unbelievable. Easton Toll elevates and robs Hunter Snow of his first career home run.
That was an amazing snag. Nobody in this stadium, you could see everybody got quiet as everybody was thinking it was going to be a home run, and then out of nowhere grabs that ball. And now, I mean, that was the best hit of the night from Baylor. And if we look at after this game, Oregon State wins, that's a big play.
What would have tied the ball game up, Hunter Snow, it's kind of ironic. He robbed that home run against New Mexico State on Friday, and a week later gets his own home run robbed as Ty Johnson check swings, and the third base umpire, Blake Felix, says no swing, so it's 2 balls, no strikes. And we'll get a little meeting on the mound. Out comes Oregon State's pitching coach, Rich Dorman. He's in his 7th season in Corvallis.
And that's something as a coach, do you think about, Hunter Snow got really close there to hitting a home run. Do you take out Whitney or, hey, keep him in, and he is, 1 out away from closing this inning and 1 strikeout away from setting the Oregon State record?
I can just say right now, Dax Whitney is not coming out of this ball game until he gets strikeout number 80. I can guarantee you that. Or if Baylor scores a run. I know this Oregon State coaching staff will not let that happen. Dorman, who coached former National Pitcher of the Year Cooper Jerpy, who is one of the 2 record holders for single game strikeouts with 17, as that one called a strike to Ty Johnson. Two balls, 1 strike. Fastball just a little too low, and that one, a close call, looked good from our viewpoint.
And if you're Ty Johnson, really happy there that was not called a strike, because now
check swing, goes around, and there's 2 strikes.
because initially you're getting further away from having to be that 18th strikeout, but now after that pitch could be it for Dax Whitney and could be the record.
Here's the pitch. Just misses outside, and the count runs full as the Oregon State fans were jumping up on their feet, so close to seeing history on that one pitch, but they'll have to wait one more. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Ty Johnson. Here's the pitch. Ground ball over to first, snagged on a hop by Craig, and he will step on the bag himself, and that will end the inning. And so close for Dax Whitney for strikeout number 18 as he gets a standing ovation walking off the mound. And that might be it, who knows. But it's still a 1-0 ball game as we head to the top of the 8th inning. This is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News. Hey Bears! Are you a freshman or senior? Freshman and senior portraits are now being scheduled. Watch your Baylor email for more information on how to reserve your sitting.
Baylor trotting out their 4th pitcher on the night. It's Caleb Bunch, the 5th year out of Keller, Texas. One of their staples in the bullpen last season, 3.23 ERA. As his first pitch to Easton Talt called for a strike. And if you remember, not too long ago, Easton Talt making play of the game, robbing Hunter Snow of a home run that would have tied the ball game at 1. That pitch misses low.
And Caleb Bunch Only pitched one time this season so far versus New Mexico State, pitching 3.1 innings, only allowing 1 hit and having 3 strikeouts.
Misses just low and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs, nobody on. Dodson almost on the infield. Grasses Tall way out in front of the slider. And the count's tied up. Talt 0 for 3. High chopper to first. Played on a hop by Armstrong. His toss over to Bunch just beats Talt for out number 1. Good hustle by Bunch, who's a big guy. Standing at 6'5", 216 pounds, having to hustle all the way over to first and beat the Oregon State right fielder.
Really seeing Talt's speed there too as just a base runner, almost beating out both of them on what would usually be a routine ground out for other players.
The first pitch to Nyon Hayes misses low and away. Hayes 1 for 3, had a single to lead off the 6th, came around to score on the Galloway sac fly. He's out in front on the 81-mile-an-hour pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bunch made 20 relief appearances last season. That was second most on the team. And gets a swing and a miss from Hayes. And Bunch ahead in the count 1-2. Earned 2 saves. Struck out 30 batters and walked 8 across 39 innings pitched. And this one popped up on the infield. Armstrong moving in. He calls off Reebok and makes the grab for out number 2.
Even though this Baylor team is down right now 1-0, you're really starting to see the strength of this Baylor defense pitching staff as well, and the fact that going into this game, it had been all about the offense, been about Tice Armstrong and his grand slams, but really the hero today for this Baylor team has been the pitching and has been the defense.
Yeah, and you can't really blame Zach Wallace too much as this one skips in and gets by J.J. Kennett for ball 1. Honestly, you got to give him more credit. He's the pitcher who gave up the 1 run, but the fact that he only gave up 1 run is impressive. That's a plus for Baylor considering the situation he was in. This one a swing and a miss by Hubbard, who pinch hit for Ethan Porter back in the 6th, had a single. Oh, 1 and can't make contact with that pitch in the dirt.
Even going back to Wallace, you know, that 1 out that he was able to get in the 5th inning when he came in for Bergman was really important, as that was a tight spot then, and, you know, still just allowing 1 run. Could have been a lot worse.
Hard ground ball to second. Running to his left is Reebok, and he can't handle the transfer. Had an opportunity to send the Beavers down in order, but the top of the 8th will continue to roll with a runner on first and 2 outs.
You can really see there, it almost looked like he hesitated because Hubbard, he was flying towards that first base, and Talt as well. Just some of the speed that these Oregon State players have as base runners, super impressive.
So they'll rule it a single, which I think is interesting. Like, you could make the argument it would have been a difficult play for Reebok running to his right, but he really should have had that play. That's a big swing and a miss from Proctor. This one skips in the dirt. Good job by Kennett with the awareness, trying to stick with that ball, keeping the runner on first.
Talking about his awareness there, having to get around the umpire as the umpire was standing right in front of the baseball, having to kind of juke around him to make sure that he had the ball.
This one ripped into left field. Hunter Snow running forward to make the grab, and that'll retire the side. So we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and it's only a 1-run difference. Bears desperate to get 1 run, and they only got 2 more chances left. And you're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
And something we did not expect to say today, but Oregon State has brought in a new pitcher to relieve Dax Whitney, and it's the right-handed junior Noah Scott.
And Noah Scott only had 1 appearance so far this year, counting as a win for him as he pitched 2.1 innings and allowed 1 run while having 5 strikeouts versus Arizona.
And so an unbelievable final stat line for Dax Whitney, as Scott's first pitch in for a strike at 95 miles an hour. 7 innings, giving up no runs on 2 hits, 17 strikeouts. That's tied for the most in a single game in Oregon State program history. 1 walk and 1 hit batter. This one a chopper, and it went off of Kennett's leg, so he's down in the count 0-2. Whitney finished with 96 total pitches, 66 of them for a strike. Just an unbelievable finish to a game that will be remembered by the Oregon State fans for quite some time. This one fouled straight back. So now for the Bears, you're going to have to shift your mindset, right? Now you're not facing Dax Whitney. You're now facing a guy with a little bit more of a manageable pitch arsenal, whose fastball is now ranging around 95, that breaking ball at 83.
Yeah, for this Baylor team, you're going to have to shift your mentality.
That one misses upstairs.
As throughout this game, as you talked about, Whitney has just been having his way with the Baylor offense, and Pearson Reebok still the only player for Baylor that has a hit. When Hunter Snow got close, nobody else has been able to get the ball in play.
As that one misses low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So it's important for this Baylor team. You know, they had Whitney. You kind of get down and get into a negative talk there in terms of just how he was able to perform. But now you just got to switch that, and it's a fresh start.
And that one nails J.J. Kennett, and that breaks up a streak of 11 straight Baylor batters to be retired. He's the first Baylor base runner since Janusek's walk in the 4th inning. That's the 3rd free pass allowed by Oregon State pitching in. Kennett looks a little shaken up. That one kind of hit him in that lower part of his back, right around the hip, as the Baylor trainer's out looking at him.
And Kennett had to face earlier, too, a ball that hit him in the thigh as he was playing catcher and, you know, taking some punishment today to his body.
And I think if you do want to take him out of this game, which they're not, it would have been an opportunity to put in a pinch runner, and then once the Baylor defense comes back out, they'd be able to put Braden Buchanan in it. But it looks like J.J. Kennett will tough it out, trying to finish this ball game for his guys. Oh, and it looks like we will have a pinch runner for J.J. Kennett. It'll be Bo Caraway.
That's a good decision by Coach Mitch Thompson. You don't want him to be going out there as a base runner and potentially getting injured because of how valuable he has been to this team so far this season.
Yeah, you already lost Lucas Davenport before tonight with some soreness. Showing bunt is Cade Dodson as it'll go foul. Popped it up very slightly, so for a moment you're like, can Jacob Galloway make that catch? But let it drop and it'll be 0-1. This is the second time Caraway has come in as a pinch runner. Dodson shows bunt, pulls back, but it's a called strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. And Caraway, the lone runner on base, he's at first. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Behind on the fastball, and strikeout number 18 for Oregon State pitching.
And if you're Baylor, going into this game, as we kept talking about it, having that speed, having that aggressiveness, especially hitting, base running. For this game outside of Pearson Reebok, there hasn't been a lot of aggressiveness in terms of base running. And right now, having somebody with Bo Caraway's speed, it's been interesting that he didn't even try once to at least stunt or act like he was going to steal.
So Travis Sanders 0 for 3 with a trio of strikeouts. He looks at ball 1. He's definitely one of those guys that's relieved to not be facing Whitney anymore. Now with a good chance to threaten, right? He came into this game hitting over 500. He's been a great leadoff hitter for the Bears as this one skips in and blocked by Galloway. And so now you're going up against a little bit more of a manageable pitcher. No, it's not to knock Noah Scott at all, but you can't really top what Dax Whitney did. And so now it's the best time for the Bears to capitalize. As this one is ripped into the right center gap and it's down. Rolling all the way to the wall. Rounding third and being waved home is Caraway. The cutoff throw is not in time. And we are all tied up here on this Friday night in Dell Diamond.
And just like you said, Travis Sanders taking advantage there, not having a hit for the entire night, and then now getting a chance against a new pitcher, brings in a run for Baylor. And now Oregon State in one of these close games once again late.
It's an RBI double for Travis Sanders. First Baylor base hit since Pearson Reebok had his second single back in the 3rd inning. He's looking for hit number 3. And with a chance to give Baylor the lead, has his middle infield partner Travis Sanders in scoring position. And he'll stare at strike one, in at the knees. And that's got to be such a big weight that's been lifted off the Bears. They've been getting held down, and they finally get that first run across the board and no longer trailing. This one skips in and gets by Galloway. Sanders heads over to third, and now the leading run is 90 feet away. As the Beavers see all of Whitney's work start to kind of fade away, and the Bears are really coming into their own in what was a 1-0 ball game, and now it has the chance to be turned on its head.
And that decision to take out Whitney looking worse by the minute right now as Baylor looks to lead.
The 1-1 pitch misses outside.
Because imagine as a team, you have a guy in Whitney that's about to break the record. He gets taken out, and then suddenly the game's tied, and then you might go down. That's got to be demoralizing for Oregon State.
Infield in. Fouled straight back by Reebok. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, runner on third. And if you're Reebok, what you've been doing all game will work. Just a soft hit into the outfield. Pitch misses outside. Galloway couldn't get the call, trying to frame it up on that low and outside corner.
That was great patience there by Reebok, because that's one that he could have easily swung on, but just sitting back and letting it come in for a ball.
Full count, 1 out. Swing and a miss. Reebok a little too aggressive, swings at a pitch way out of the zone. And there's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 8th.
Had great patience on that pitch before, but at the end, when it got to a full count, just got too aggressive. And now up to Tice Armstrong, who has been leading this team, all your RBIs, home runs, grand slams, has a chance here to put Baylor up.
Armstrong stares at a high fastball for ball 1. As I said, Armstrong leading the team with 15 RBIs. This one, a soft ground ball over to first, and Craig will step on the bag and take it himself as they call catcher's interference. Wait, excuse me. And they will call catcher's interference, but the run will not come in. So what was going to be a inning-ending 3-U ground out puts Tice Armstrong on first base, but leaves Travis Sanders on third.
These players on the field are still confused as to what's going on.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I'm confused too.
Travis Sanders was looking at the umpire like, why aren't you letting me go into home? But seeing that he stopped it there, and now Tice Armstrong on first base and Travis Sanders at third.
Yeah, Tice Armstrong knew right away. We saw on the replay that when he did swing, it did hit Galloway's gloves, so it is catcher's interference. But now there's going to be a meeting at the mound, and the Bears talking with their runners and the hitters. We've got 2 meetings going on the field.
And Galloway just having a tough time today defensively on those stolen bases by Reebok, throwing them too high, and then there having interference on what could have been the inning ending out and the third out for Oregon State, getting them out of this bind. But now really Baylor could take the lead here and then close it out in the top of the 9th, and that could be all she wrote.
Yeah, and it would be a statement win for a program that's been slowly rebuilding over the last couple years under Mitch Thompson. Last year was the first time in 3 years that they had gone back to the Big 12 tournament. They were 33-21 as A new pitcher will come in for Oregon State as the Bears are threatening. So we'll step aside for a few moments and we'll come back with the new arm. This is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
So Isaac Yeager in as the new pitcher for Oregon State. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Facing John Ewens. Struck out looking the last 2 times up. And that one misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. In a big spot here.
This is where you need to hit something, go right in between the first and second baseman as they're crowding that left side.
And that pitch misses outside. 3 balls, no strikes, and the infield shifted to the right as the second baseman, A.J. Singer, is about 10 to 15 feet into right field. So there's a big gap right down the middle. That's a get-me-over fastball, called a strike at the knees. It's 3-1. Sanders on third. Tice Armstrong on first. Check swing. And he did not go. And the pitch misses the zone, and it's a walk, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. In a 1-1 ball game.
And for Yeager, this is last 2 years actually, all of his time coming in relief. 2023, 2024, having 54 games pitched in relief, and now in the same type of position, but very different as well, having the bases loaded, but still a manageable situation, only having 1 out to go.
So it's the freshman right fielder, Brady Janusek. He stares at strike 1 at the knees.
And this is a guy that the coaching staff has talked about as being the next great Baylor player. And right now, this is his chance to cement that legacy and really give into what all of his coaches have been saying.
And foul tip goes off of Galloway. So he's behind in the count, 0-2. We've talked about how he has the tools, but now we're going to see how does he perform when the lights are brightest. And, of course, he's young. This is his 4th career game. He didn't play on Tuesday. His 4th career game in college. Already in a big moment, trying to give his team the lead. It's the 0-2 pitch. This one lifted into deep center field. Back on it is Hayes. He'll have some room, and he'll make the catch. and will strand the bases loaded and keep this game tied as we head to the 9th inning. And we have ourselves a thriller here on Friday night at Dell Diamond. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio. Josh Proctor will lead things on for the Oregon State Beavers. Defensive sub behind the plate, Braden Buchanan in after J.J. Kennett got hit by a pitch, and he was pinch ran for by Bo Caraway. The first pitch from Bunch missed low for ball 1. Caraway came around to score on the RBI double from Travis Sanders that tied this ball game at 1. This one a hard ground ball, but just to the right of first base, and a foul ball. So Bunch back out, hoping to set his team up for a 9th inning walk-off. This one fouled back, and excuse me for what I said earlier about the batter, it's Jacob Galloway who was up to bat. And here's the 1-2 pitch from Bunch. Skipped in and blocked by Buchanan.
Now for Bunch, this really is where that experience as a fifth-year senior comes in, to have the poise to try to get.
As this one popped up behind home plate, but it'll find the seats.
To try to get this game through for Baylor and really give his offense a chance to finish it out. This is the prototypical type of pitcher you want in this situation right now.
And he's been very effective in his time here at Baylor. Ground ball goes right into the Oregon State dugout. Galloway early on another pitch that he gets a handle of. So Buchanan, third game he's played, first time he hasn't started this year. He went 1 for 3 with 2 walks against Texas State on Tuesday. Another ground ball foul just past the first base bag. And he went 0 for 3 with as he grounded out into a double play on Saturday against New Mexico State. He's been splitting time with J.J. Kennett, kind of what Baylor had last year with Kennett and senior Cortland Castle, kind of splitting time behind the dish. This one hits Galloway in the foot, so he'll get a free 90. And will lead off as a base runner here in the 9th inning.
And that's what Bunch has to be careful of going into this inning, is just like at that at bat, getting caught up in at bats that drag way too long, having a lot of foul balls, and definitely doesn't want to get caught up in the situation that Wallace had earlier and let somebody score just to get out of the count.
So now there will be a little meeting for Oregon State, something that we don't really ever see in the major leagues, but we see occasionally here in college where the team on offense, the team hitting, will kind of have their own kind of meeting. Usually we'll just see in the majors, we'll just see the pitching team have a meeting on the mound, but Bayer's just taking their time as the meeting in front of the Oregon State dugout will disperse. It's Jacob Craig, who's 1 for 3, a double and a pair of strikeouts today. He's got a runner on first and no outs. And the hit by pitch, only the second free pass allowed by Baylor pitching, along with Tyler Inge's 3rd inning walk, as Craig can't make any contact with the low breaking ball. No balls, 1 strike. He sets and deals. Tries to get the call at the knees, but doesn't quite make it. Just a little too low.
Buchanan pointed at him, like, don't get discouraged there, getting really close there to a strike.
The 1-1 ripped into deep left field. Backing up is Hunter Snow as he makes the catch on the warning track. The redshirt freshman has made some great defensive plays in left field and put his body on the line right there for out number 1.
I mean, that was an excellent catch, and 1-2 that he made off balance, as that ball had so much velocity that it took him onto his back foot, and still able to make the catch, and probably a little bit revenge for getting robbed earlier.
Yeah, and that in this situation, in a tie ball game in the top of the 9th, that could be a game-changing play. If he doesn't make that catch, Oregon State's going to have a runner in scoring position. As Vasquez showed bunt, kept it forward, as it'll be strike 1. Ball got away from Buchanan a little bit, but able to stay with it. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Misses way outside with the slider. Looks like he might have been expecting another bunt attempt from Vasquez, but Vasquez just kept that bat on his shoulder. Throw over to first. Too high to apply the tag.
Yeah, that definitely looked like what Bunch was expecting on that pitch. Throwing it in the same place he did the first time, but this time expecting that bunt, just trying to get it out of the way to not have Oregon State get somebody in scoring position.
What looked like a good pitch misses away. So Bunch behind in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out with a runner on first in a 1-1 ball game here in the top of the 9th. And we'll get another meeting by the Oregon State dugout.
Some disapproval from Baylor fans right now, is taking 2 stops within the last couple of at-bats here in this pivotal 9th inning.
Yeah, and I think part of this has got to be to knock Bunch out of some rhythm, and I think this is good for Braden Buchanan to go out, talk to his pitcher, and be as productive as possible.
Definitely good taking advantage of that time. If they're going to have a timeout to kind of have a meeting for Oregon State, might as well do the same.
Yeah, and the last time Oregon State, just a couple pitches ago, met with the guys on base and their hitter, Braden Buchanan didn't talk to his pitcher, right? There was not a whole lot going on in the Baylor defense. This time, making some little better use. This one a swing and a miss. Really nice pitch from Caleb Bunch. That one a hard slider down in the dirt, so it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bunch gets set, out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And Braden Buchanan pointing at his pitcher saying, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we talked about. That's the pitch I wanted to see.
And you saw that a little bit earlier. There was a pitch that was a little too low, and you could see that Bunch was discouraged, and Buchanan was just pointing at him saying, hey, keep your head up. And now some of that positive reinforcement, having those 2 pitches, and Buchanan's like, that is what we want to see. And now only 1 more out to go to give it back to the Baylor offense and trying to keep this game tied.
First pitch to Tyler Inge misses away. Inge 1 for 2, had a single in the 5th. Also had a walk in the 3rd. Trying to keep this inning going. Throw back over to first, close play. But Galloway returns in time. And the 1-0 skips in the dirt, blocked by Buchanan. So a hitter's count for Tyler Inge. Righty on righty. Here's the pitch from Bunch. Low again and backhanded by Buchanan. 3 balls, no strikes.
That's where you thought Bunch was going to take that momentum from the last at-bat, but just everything a little too far outside or a little too low.
His 33rd pitch. Fastball in the zone for strike 1.
And that's the difficulty with counts like this. Having that 3-1 is you don't want to be forcing it in the zone and give up an easy hit, but also you don't want to have to walk Inge and then have a runner in scoring position, as is going to happen right now.
That pitch missed it upstairs, so it's ball 4. And that'll put runners on first and second with 2 outs. So Sean Snedeker coming out to talk to his guy. And whenever we've heard any of Baylor's pitchers talk about Coach Sned, as they call him, one of the things that they say about him as a person is that he's such a calming presence. I think that's exactly what Caleb Bunch needs, right? You've got 2 guys on base. The leading run is now in scoring position. Time to slow down, right? You need to just slow down, calm down, and just see the job ahead. See what you need to do. And right now, he's got A.J. Singer, who's 0 for 4.
And you're right, it's just about calming down in this moment for Bunch, as having 2 outs, having a guy who hasn't gotten a hit today is a good situation for him.
First pitch misses low and away.
Seems to be the theme of these last 2 at-bats, is that pitch low and away on his first pitch, almost like he's scared that they're going to get a hit immediately.
Looking back to second, he deals. Misses away with the second straight slider to A.J. Singer. Singer has flown out 3 times, popped up in foul territory in the 5th. Now in a big spot. Can't get the call. It's just a little too far upstairs. 3-0 count. 2 outs, runners on second and first. The 3-0 pitch. And it's a 4-pitch walk that'll load the bases.
That's something during that entire at-bat, just far and away low. As much as right now, it's a big situation. There's a lot of intensity, a lot of pressure. You need to bring, if you're a bunch, bring some of that experience that you have. And just like you said, and the coach came out and talked to him, calming himself down and being okay with having a couple of pitches in the strike zone and not fearing that every single one of those pitches is going to be a home run.
And there is some movement in the Baylor bullpen. Looks like it's Grayson Murray. That first pitch called a strike. And a good arm side movement on that fastball gets the call at the knees. And it's 0-1. This one in the dirt, blocked by Buchanan. And if you're Bunch, you got to be careful with those low breaking balls. If it gets by Buchanan, then that's the lead for Oregon State, because they've got the leading run on third with Jacob Galloway. The 1-1 ripped into left field, racing on is Hunter Snow, and he won't get there. 1 run scores. Here comes Inge, and he is in the score. A 2-run single for Easton Talt.
And that has been the story for Oregon State these last couple of games. Just a clutch gene within this team. And all these games being within 1 score, 2 scores, and then coming back and really getting out in front. And right there, that's so demoralizing for Baylor, losing the lead, but also knowing that Hunter Snow just 2 to 3 steps away and would have caught it.
And the ball just found that green grass in left field. Nyan Hayes lays down a bunt. It's a beauty. There will be no throw, and he'll reach and load the bases once again.
Seen that bunt not work at all today, and that time working to great effect. Now putting a runner on third for Oregon State, and with the chance to really extend this lead.
Yeah, and this got to be so frustrating for Caleb Bunch. Something we haven't seen from him since he's been here at Baylor. Giving up 3 free passes in this inning. And a pair of singles. This one a bunt popped up, but it'll go foul. It's Eli Grease-Smith pinch hitting for Bryce Hubbard. And this one lifted in the straightaway right field, and Brady Janusek camps under and makes the catch to end the inning. But Oregon State retakes the lead on a 2 RBI single from Easton Talt, who's made some big plays, including robbing Hunter Snow early in this ball game. But the Bears down to their final 3 outs with a 2-run deficit. They trail 3-1. And this is Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Stay informed and stay connected with Lariat TV News. Tune in to LTVN every Friday, your go-to source for everything happening on campus and around Waco. From breaking stories to exclusive interviews, we cover campus events, student life, sports updates, and more. By the students, for the students. Catch our latest broadcast every Friday afternoon on YouTube by searching Baylor Lariat TV News.
In what's been a hard-fought battle for the Bears against the number 7 team in the nation, they're now down to their final 3 outs. They trail 3-1. They're giving up a 2 RBI single to Easton Talt in the top half of this inning. So it'll be Hunter Snow, Ty Johnson, and Braden Buchanan due up for the Bears. First pitch, no swing from Hunter Snow, and it's a ball. Hunter Snow, his last time up, ended up on the score sheet flying out to right field. Almost hit a home run, and it got robbed by Easton Talt. That one's upstairs.
And with a chance to close this game, Oregon State bringing out Albert Robles, who last year led Long Beach State with a 2.78 ERA, and this year has pitched in 2 games, pitching about a total of 3 innings and only allowing 1 run.
That one called a strike on the low and outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike to Hunter Snow. Robles, the senior out of Moreno Valley, California. Second team All Big West Conference. The pitch. Check swing. Appeal over to third base, and Blake Felix says no swing. So a hitter's count, 3 balls, 1 strike to Hunter Snow. It was only about 6 inches away from a home run back in the 7th. And that one called a strike at the knees. Close call there. That ball looking a little low, but Robles getting the strike. So full count, no outs, nobody on. Payoff pitch. Check swing, and he went around.
That was one just getting too aggressive there. One that was clearly high, and he almost had to back up from, but went around. And now 1 out, and Oregon State's win becoming more and more a reality, but Baylor's still trying to stay in it.
And now it's Ty Johnson, who's 0 for 3 on the night. Grounded out to first base back in the 7th inning, as he looks at ball 1. And that one, fastball missing inside, so 2 balls and no strikes to Ty Johnson.
Kind of in the same position as Hunter Snow in the last at-bat, but that one got a little out of hand, and Robles went away with it. We'll see what Johnson can do here.
That one called a strike, so now 2-1 to Johnson. Last season led Baylor with 11 stolen bases. He just gets a piece of that ball that dribbles foul.
And Johnson, a part of the string of Baylor players that have not gotten a hit tonight. From the 3rd spot to the 9th spot, there has not been a hit from a Baylor player as of yet.
He also led the team in walks last year with 35. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Robles. Fouls one straight back, trying to stay alive.
And that's what you need to do if you're Johnson, just like Oregon State was doing with Baylor's pitchers, just staying alive, hitting those foul balls, getting contact, and then eventually getting a hit or getting a walk.
Robles gets set. Bright orange glove at his chest. Kicks and deals. A chopper to first. Backing up is Craig. His toss in time beats Johnson by a step. And the Bears down to their final out.
And Robles doing a great job there of kind of stutter stepping at the end, making sure that his foot was on the bag, and Johnson making a valiant effort to try to make it to first, and almost did.
So it'll be Braden Buchanan, who came in the top half of the inning as a defensive sub. He'll stare at that fastball right down the heart of the plate. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. Bears trailing 3-1. Here's the pitch. Missing just outside, and the count's tied up at 1.
Oregon State fans really thinking that that was a strike there, and they were 1 strike away, but now 1-1 count.
The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Buchanan behind on the 91-mile-an-hour fastball. The Oregon State fans up on their feet. The orange and black cheering on their guys, hoping to get 1 last strike and put this game on ice. Here's the pitch from Robles. Upstairs, ball 2.
This is where Buchanan just has to stay patient, has to stay calm and composed with all the Oregon State fans up right now and only 1 strike away from this game being over.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And an emphatic celebration from Albert Robles. And the Beavers having to sweat one out all 9 innings against Baylor as they win 3-1. And I think if you're Baylor, obviously you were disappointed to lose this one. You had it right there with bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th. But when you look at it, you took the number 7 team in the nation all to the end. You went all 9 rounds, and I think that's something to be proud of.
It definitely is, and I think the biggest takeaway from today is that Baylor's a complete team. Even though it was a loss, this is not a team that's solely just batting, hitting grand slams and everything like that. It is a team that can win through its pitching and that can stay in games through its pitching, because today on offensive side for Baylor, really nothing outside of Pearson Reebok, and he was the only positive there for the most part, and Sanders getting that hit. But the pitching today really coming through, and seeing, especially with Stahl, seeing how even though he's not able to get strikeouts, able to get people to have those weak contact hits, getting those outs, and really a lot of positives moving forward, and just knowing that, like you said, keeping up against a team that is as good as this Beavers team, and just really impressive. And but all, still sad for Baylor, but overall an impressive outing for them.
Yeah, when you look at Oregon State, obviously the story is Dax Whitney, right? 7 innings, 17 strikeouts, one of the best performances you will ever see by a pitcher. But an unsung hero for this team, Easton Taltz, right? He robbed that home run from Hunter Snow in the bottom of the 7th inning, and then cashed in with a 2 RBI single in the top of the 9th that ended up being the game winner. And he showed up when the Beavers needed it most.
He really did, and that home run that was going to happen by Hunter Snow really felt like it was going to change the momentum of the game, and him being able to rob that really got Oregon State back out in front. And just seeing his speed, even on the plays that weren't the big ones, just getting to first base, getting a hit, his speed is immense and really a positive for this Oregon State team. And you're right, just a really unsung hero of this game, as I'm sure all the headlines will go to Dax Whitney's performance.
So the Bears drop their first game of the season. They go down to 4-1. Oregon State also now at 4-1. And for the Bears, their weekend is only beginning, as they will take on Purdue right here at Dell Diamond tomorrow. First pitch scheduled for 1 p.m. Our broadcast will start at 12:45, and then on Sunday they'll take on number 18 Southern Miss. Broadcast at 2:45. First pitch at 3 p.m. The story tonight: the Beavers sweated out in 9 innings. Dax Whitney with an all-time performance, 17 strikeouts in 7 innings. As the Beavers score 3 runs on 9 hits at 2 errors, and the Bears 1 run on 3 hits. And Albert Robles gets the save. Isaac Yeager gets the win, and then the loss for the Bears will be Caleb Bunch, who goes down to 1-1 on the season. But that'll do it from us here at Dell Diamond on this Friday night. And from all of us here on the Baylor Lariat Radio, I'm Jeffrey Cohen. Here alongside me is Aidan O'Connor, and you've been listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Lariat Radio. Nice. Look at that.
4:45?